Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing how to get the most out of your Milky Way season and how to maximize the opportunities that you have in getting out there and actually capturing the Milky Way. There is a lot of opportunity out there that some people just don't know about, and I want to share that with you guys in this video so you can get out there and capture the night sky this Milky Way season. Let's get into this. All right, guys, so I'm going to try to keep this as simple and easy to follow as possible. I'm going to be using Photopills for this example. I personally prefer to use Photopills because it has all the data that I need in one easy to use interface and just makes everything so much easier when it comes to figuring out the information that's necessary to get out there and capture the Milky Way. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to click on Moon, and immediately it's going to bring you into the page here for today's moon details. Now we are going to get to this, but the first thing we want to do is come down to the lower left and click on Calendar, the second option from the left, to pull up the entire moon phase calendar for May 2023. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to show you guys a couple things before we dive into how we're going to time the Milky Way and moonrise and moonset to our advantage. Now, looking at the calendar here, you can see very clearly that there's a full moon on the 5th, which means that the 5th is completely out of the question, as is the 3rd and the 4th and the 6th and the 7th. However, if we go to today being the 9th and look, it looks like there's not really going to be an opportunity because the moon is still up. And that's a common misconception that a lot of astrophotographers, well, I should say new astrophotographers have, myself included when I first started, that if the moon's up, there is absolutely no hope. You can't see the Milky Way, you can't capture the Milky Way, and that's simply not the case. So for this example, we're going to go ahead and use today being the 9th. We see that it's highlighted here in the blue circle, so we're going to go ahead and click on that. And this information that I'm specifically looking for is here at the bottom on the left side. You'll see where it says moonset. I know by looking at this that the moon sets at 8:29 a.m. The next thing I'm going to want to find is the moon rise. That's not until Wednesday morning. So we click the top right arrow to move to Wednesday, May 10th, and I see that the moon rises at 12:54 a.m. So with that information at hand, I'm going to go back to Tuesday and look at the very bottom here. It says that the galactic center visibility starts at 11:23 p.m. That's important information to know because if the Milky Way core is rising before the moon, that's going to give us an opportunity to capture it. So at 11:23 p.m., the core will rise. And then I'm going to go over here and click the arrow to move back to Wednesday, and the moon rises at 12:54. So that means that I have roughly an hour and a half to get out and capture the Milky Way, even though the moon is in the sky. Now, one thing that you want to remember when you're doing this is that these times are going to change as the month continues. So, for example, if we look here on May 2023, this first week from the 8th through the 13th, roughly, we will be going out and capturing the Milky Way before the moon rise. Now, once we get through the new moon on the 19th, say we go out on the 24th, now we're going to be going out while the moon is still in the sky, but the moon will set before the core does. So in this case, the moon sets at 12:24 a.m. and the core of the Milky Way sets at 3:26 a.m., meaning that if we go out at approximately 12:30 on Wednesday, May 24th, we can still get out and capture the core of the Milky Way. That's very important information to have because now we have gone from a limited time frame of the 18th, 19th, and 20th to ultimately opening up almost the entire calendar for Milky Way photo opportunities. with the exception of the few days around a full moon. And a cool little side note to this is that if you time this out right, you can actually use the moonlight to your advantage. So let's go over here and use Friday the 12th for an example again. So we know that the moon sets at 12:12 p.m. We know that the galactic center will rise at 11:11 p.m. So on Saturday morning, once we've been out capturing the Milky Way up until the moon rise at 2:49 a.m., we can now wait a little longer, and once the moon rises and gets high enough in the sky, we can actually take our foreground pictures at that point, and you can use the moonlight to illuminate your foreground and get a nice, well-lit, even lit foreground to blend with your stacked images or your tracked images or whatever the case may be. And toward the end of the month, where we would be going out when the moon was still up in the sky, so we'll use Thursday, May 25th for this example, we see that the moon rises at 10:23 a.m., galactic center visibility starts at 10:20 p.m. So going into Friday morning, we can see that the moon sets at 1:29 a.m. and galactic center visibility ends at 3:23 a.m., meaning that if we go out on Friday morning, we get out there, we can use the moonlight to light our foreground and get a nice, well-balanced and evenly lit foreground. And then once the moon sets at 1:30, we can start capturing the Milky Way until 3:23 a.m. And then you have nice, well-lit foreground images. You have an opportunity to capture the Milky Way core as it rises through the sky. And weather permitting, you will be able to get out and capture the Milky Way on almost every night of the month. All right, everybody. Well, that wraps up today's video. I hope it was helpful. Stick around because the next video, we're going to be chasing the Milky Way through Michigan's Upper Peninsula in some of the darkest skies that my region has to offer. Very excited about it, and I'm going to be bringing you guys along for the trip. So stick around. It's going to be a good time. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, do all those great YouTube things, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.